Good evening, and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that. Sorry, sorry about that. Was looking into some things and that slipped in. Sorry about that. But welcome to another podcast. And since we're just going into winter, I think this is the first day of winter, second day of winter. Just wanted to give you something to chomp on a bit, because we know when you're not going to be outside, you're not going to be moving around. It's going to be cold in a lot of places, not going to be much movement. So we just wanted to give you a little something. It's not going to be long. We'll come up with a couple of more episodes later on in the week in these coming winter months. But just to give you something to think about. So when spring hits, you'll be ready. Okay. So we want to share some information with you that, the mainstream is not going to give it to you. This has to do with you. You, everyone that's listening, this has to do with you. Put the focus on yourself for a minute, and you'll definitely get where we're coming from on this, because you really have to. So, what we what you to understand is simply, and this is to all the indigenous people in America and in the world. You are a part of nature. You're a part of this whole what we're living. I know the indigenous people of the world, you're not made to think that you're nothing. You're given different identities by peoples who have invaded your land. They've paid and co opted some of your parents, teachers, ministers to keep you in an utter state of confusion. This is to the indigenous people. Some of you might not get it because you crossed over to the other side. So you are a part of that. Just to not to put no shame in your game. You're doing that better than anyone. This is to the indigenous people that just, trying to figure this out. So we just want to give you this, you know. So this winter, like I say, when everything is slowed down, you'll be able to see it as we get closer to spring. Okay, so this is nature. This is in South Carolina. Everybody knows, especially those who live in the Southeast, how important trees are. Trees are everywhere. Like I said, we just went did some to pick some nuts off the trees that fell off the trees. Could you imagine having that industry? Because it's your industry, but yet we just go get it from other people. This is how we've been disconnected from the natural world. See, in the natural world, food grows in abundance. Nuts, plants, all kind of plant fruit, it grows into abundance. But when the people leave the land and want to go into the artificial world, all that stuff is negated. All of it. So when the people move out of the natural world into the artificial world, those things stop growing. those things stop growing. All the trees, the fruit that they bear, don't bear like they did when the people were there because the people have left the natural world. They want the artificial world. So, when you want to find out what the natural world is, because a lot of people are scared of it, seriously, the training is heavy. Training is heavy. Most indigenous people, they've become other things now. They've been named other objects. So they rather stick with that. But this is a definition of the natural world. And you may have your own definitions. So I hope it's close to this. The natural world is the undisturbed state of planet Earth without human interference. It includes the raw building blocks of nature, such as fire, water, land, minerals, plants, and all living beings. Aren't you a living being? Aren't you a living being? Yeah, you are. I mean, some of you are clones, but I'm talking about the ones who mom and daddy had a hand into producing you. See, these are the things that we really not into. We really not really into our parents and what they've done. We're into other people and beings that we're giving. We'll think our parents are less important to say anybody, and they're not. They're the ones that created you. So when we talk about the natural world, some things to point out. Sometimes you may get a little chill in your body. Sometimes the hairs on your arm, the back of your neck, your head will raise up. That's energy flowing through your body, natural energy flowing through your body. You can get it by just thinking of someone. You can get it when someone is close to you, someone you like, someone you don't like too. These are things in the natural world that people in the natural world they pay attention to. In the artificial world, you have so much going. You may not even know that the hair on your arm is standing up, right? Like I say, this is for natural people. This is for natural people. You might have another ideology of thought. You may believe something else, but that belief doesn't obfuscate the natural world. If there was no natural world, you wouldn't be breathing, right? Right. So how do we get out of the natural world? What? How do we're not in the natural world anymore? We don't pay attention to it. We don't know what it is. I mean, it's right at our fingertips, yet we don't have any idea what the natural world is. And one of the reasons, this is a big reason why we don't know what it is we're disconnected from it completely. Completely. Some stuff we do ourselves, some stuff was set up for you to walk in. We do it every matter of fact. Aren't you about to celebrate New Year's in the dead of winter? Hmm? Isn't that being cut off from time? You're celebrating New Year's in the dead of winter. That's not off to you. That's not odd when you know New Year's is when everything starts anew. Everything start turning green. You do know that, don't you? Well, you should. Another reason we're cut off, and this is going to get a lot of people pissed off, but don't be. Just change and watch what happens. Watch what happens. Check this out. So this right here, this has, I don't know about the rest of the world. I hear a lot of the rest of the world don't play some of these games that are being played over in America. But another way is how we're thrown off and confused totally is us, how we look at ourselves. We look at ourselves as having a birthday when that's far away, what you should be thinking about. Young young lady asked me, she goes, "How much do you think we spend on partying every year? On birthday parties, cakes, trips, vacations, blah, 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 for birthdays." I just told her it had to be in the trillions, I would assume. But isn't the conception date a much more important date? The average person, well, they don't know that ain't the birthday. That's what they're trained to think. But ask your mama, and if you a mama yourself, you'll know. What is because not only did life for you change, it also changed for your mother. She had to be a different person. She had to metamorphosize into something from what she wasn't before. This is if you're the first child, second, third, even if you're the second, third, fourth, fifth, the mother's life will change because she has a bigger role. But it also starts the development of you. So wherever you were before that sperm hit that egg and that light lit up, that light that you came through, wherever you were before that, and you came in through that light, wouldn't you say that would be your birthday? I mean, I'm just saying. Isn't that important? As a matter of fact, that's the most important part, right? But we don't do that. We're not taught that, and we sure don't think about it. That throws us for a loop. Now you're connecting yourself with the artificial world even more, and your actions show it, right? See, this is what we do. And for the indigenous people didn't start doing that until invaders came to their land and told them how to celebrate, right? Now, you'll get a lot of indigenous people who will fight against this, tear the room up. But this is exactly how they've been trained, right? And you can be honest, because when you're honest, you'll normally set whatever it is that you were doing down wrong, never to mess with it again. But since we want to be a part of the in crowd, we don't want to be a part of nature, these things happen. So the natural world is where you come from, your natural person, if you have a mother and father. And that's why they're trying to push all of this transhuman stuff. Because if all the men want to be girls and all the girls want to be men, who's going to create the babies? Who's going to keep life going? Those people are not interested in that. And you have a bunch of people who are rooting them on. Okay. If you don't have the egg to fertilize with the sperm cell, to conceptualize with the sperm cell, you make no babies. The transhumanist knows that and will trick you simply into participating in it. And then you have the nerve to be upset when the subject is brought up. And that being sad or being mad or being angry is just to throw us off. No, explain your actions. Explain your actions. So, this is how you start getting into the natural world, y'all. You, you. What is it that you've been taught? Have you been told? Have you experienced to make you believe that this is it? Many people have left the natural world their whole lives, never been back. It's just as simple as a grandmother or grandfather to get you back there, to explore that, where you fit into it at, make all the difference in the world. Make all the difference in the world. So, natural world, artificial world. I think everybody gets a taste of the artificial world and see where it's going. That's with food. If you live in the artificial world, you're eating artificial food. You're getting artificial smells. You're getting artificial taste. You're getting artificial sounds. You're getting artificial beliefs. Now, I realize that many people, the artificial world is their God. And yes, your religion is artificial too. Pick one. So the natural world is there for everybody. And I think what you get from the natural world would obliterate some of the miseries and sufferings we see going on in the world today. So we're going to end it right here. Copper color lifestyle, you're a lifesaver. Thank you for letting me know that I'm important. I appreciate you. And so are all of you. So natural world, when we're in this winter time, just explore it. Tap on it a little bit. You'd be surprised at what you might find. You guys have a good night. Peace.